Wow, look at that. I have almost an entire Roman arena all to myself. Welcome to historic and awesome Nîmes. In this video I'm going to show you why you need to visit this epic city in the south of France. In this video I will butcher the pronunciation of many place names, so when you finish laughing at my attempts to say French words, feel free to correct me in the comments below. The history of Nîmes dates back to ancient times when it was an important regional capital in the Roman Empire, and to this day it is blessed with some of the best preserved Roman buildings in the world, and is often referred to as the French Rome. With a modern population of about 150,000 people, Nîmes is a busy and lively city that can be reached easily by car or public transport. It's also a good choice as a day trip from cities like Marseille, but I recommend spending at least a couple of days here to see everything it has to offer. All of the important sites are within walking distance of each other, so the city is best explored on foot, as this will also allow you to take in the many charming historic streets and public squares. The Arena of Nîmes is probably the most famous attraction in the city. Constructed in about 70 CE, shortly after the Colosseum in Rome, it is one of the best preserved Roman amphitheatres in the world, and is still used today for events and concerts. In Roman times it could hold about 24,000 spectators for games and gladiator fights, making it one of the largest of its kind. Its modern capacity is about 13,000 people. When I visited in November there were very few people inside, and it was great to be able to wander around and explore this exceptional building without queues or crowds. Almost the entire arena can be explored, from the upper tiers for truly epic views over the entire arena and surrounding Nîmes skyline, down to the floor of the arena itself where you can imagine how it must have looked to ancient gladiators walking out for battle. Don't forget to have a look around the ancient passages and stairs connecting all the different levels, especially the ground floor with its huge arches. The arena is also very impressive from the outside and worth walking around. On the south side is an expansive plaza with an impressively detailed statue of a famous bullfighter, Nemino II. Adjacent to the arena is a museum of Roman history, the Musée de la Romanité. This sleek modern building was opened in 2018 and designed by Elizabeth de Port-Sampar. Its wavy facade is reminiscent of a mosaic, of which there are many inside. The museum has about 5,000 artifacts, many of which come from recent discoveries in Nîmes, such as an ancient Roman villa discovered in 2006. Some of the most significant items in the museum are ancient floor mosaics, such as the amazing Pentheus mosaic. The museum is also famous for its collection of Roman coins, as well as ceramics and many other fascinating objects. It's a great place to spend a few hours, especially if it's raining. The museum also has a free-to-enter roof terrace. We can get a good view of the arena and rooftops of Nîmes. The Maison Carré is one of the best preserved ancient Roman temples in the world. Constructed in the 1st century BCE and then later rededicated to two sons of Augustus who died young. It is a great example of classical Roman architecture and has inspired and influenced countless buildings all over the world. Many exterior details are well preserved, especially its slender columns with Corinthian capitals. Over the years the building has served many purposes, including being a house, stables, granary and a church. It is now a tiny museum showing a video about the history of Nîmes. Opposite the ancient Roman temple is the Cathédrale, or Museum of Contemporary Art. Designed by the famous British architect Sir Norman Foster, it was opened in 1993. This futuristic modern building with its glass portico and slender columns complements the more ancient architecture of the temple opposite. The building houses a public library, cafe, as well as a collection of modern art. The Gardens of the Fountain is an amazing park and green space located on the site of an ancient spring. Open all year, the gardens are free to enter. One of the oldest public gardens in France, it was started in the 1740s. Containing pools, statues, walkways and terraces, it is a very pleasant space to explore. On one side is the ancient Roman temple of Diane. Likely constructed in the 1st century, its exact purpose is unknown, but was once part of a much larger complex. It's free to enter, so make sure you don't miss it. Rising above the ornate gardens is Mont Cavalier. With terraces, grottos, and many winding paths, this pleasant hillside park forms a nice contrast to the formal gardens below. At the top of the hill is the Tour Magne, an ancient Roman tower that once formed part of the city's ancient fortifications. This 36-metre high tower can be visited for a small fee and has information inside about the history of the tower, as well as a modern spiral staircase allowing access to a viewing area, where you can look out over the city of Nîmes. Inside the densely packed streets of the old town is the cathedral. This building was originally constructed on the site of an even older Roman building. The current building has undergone many alterations and restorations over the years, showing a mixture of styles and eras. The old town of Nîmes is a wonderful jumble of streets and alleys, and a great place to explore and get lost in. Near the cathedral is the Musée de Nîmes, a museum showing the history of Nîmes. It is housed in a grand building with pleasant gardens at the back. Nearby is the old clock tower, built in the mid-18th century. The Auguste Gate is the remains of one of the old Roman gates that formed part of the city's defences, likely constructed in the 1st century BCE. Its 4 entrance arches still remain, 2 big ones in the middle for horses and vehicles, and 2 smaller ones on the sides for people. Located inside the ruins is a statue of the emperor himself. Adjacent to the old Roman gate is the church of Saint-Baudile. This large neo-Gothic church was constructed between 1867 and 1877. Another notable church is the Church of St. Paul. This large neo-Romanesque building was constructed between 1835 and 1849. The interior is wonderfully decorated with colourful murals. Near the arena is the Esplanade Jardin, a large public space at the centre of which is the magnificent Pradia fountain. So that is my top places to visit in the amazing city of Nîmes. Let me know in the comments if I missed something important. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, then please consider liking and subscribing. See you in the next one.